Oh, you thought we were done? It may be a new year now, but we still haven't finished unpacking what went down in 2023. Hey guys, it's Imurgency and welcome back to my channel. Today we're back and we're doing a continuation of my last video because y'all seem to really enjoy a good recap on all of the most unserious Hollywood scandals, confrontations, and all the like that happened in 2023. And y'all were all very vocal about the fact that I missed a lot that went down in 2023. And honestly, that just speaks to the chaos that went down last year, which makes me even more excited to see what goes down in 2024. But you know, before all that unravels, we had to double it and come back and rank just a few more of the most unserious scandals, drama that Hollywood had to offer in 2023. Now, before we do that, I have a big life update / channel update to announce. So if you're not interested in that and just don't give a fuck about me, then you can skip to the timestamp right here. Yes, I'm guilt tripping you. I like never open up. But for those of you that are sticking along, I have a really big announcement that I honestly did not think I'd be prepared to actually announce or would be at a point in life to announce this. But for the first time in this channel's history, I am officially a full-time creator. I know. It's wild. It feels very wild. For those of you that are new around here and haven't been around for my old college vlog days, I actually graduated from college back in summer of 2022. And directly after I graduated, I got my first big boy job working at Twitter, and then subsequently got my second big boy job at the beginning of 2023 working over at Instagram. So I've been in my tech baddie bag. I feel like that's been one of my best kept secrets. I don't know. But yeah, for this entire channel's history, this has always been sort of something that I balanced with something else, whether that be with school or with a job. But now I'm doing this full time, which is equal parts exciting because this is something that I've wanted to do for the longest time, but also terrifying because I've never actually taken this leap before and don't know what to expect. So first and foremost, I want to thank y'all for making this even be a semi-viable option. I honestly would not be in this position without y'all, and I owe y'all the world. What this means for y'all is that I'm going to be posting more content more consistently. I'm still trying to figure out the specifics of that, so you all will definitely be getting a lot more content coming to this channel this year. So definitely, if you have not already, then be sure to subscribe, leave a like, support. Follow me on all my other socials at Imurgency on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Honestly, just continue supporting the way you have because it truly means the world. But for those of you that want to go above and beyond in 2024, I have something new coming out for y'all in the form of channel memberships. By becoming a member of the channel, you get access to 2 additional show review videos chosen by members, which eventually become public. Certain tiers of members also get access to exclusive live streams where we can chill, chat, and catch up, as well as all members having access to cute little emotes and badges that show up during live streams, premieres, and in the comment section of all my videos. But if you do want early access to that sort of content and want to just go above and beyond to support the channel during this new full-time era, then be sure to click the link in my description or by clicking the join button to get more information on this channel's memberships and the different tiers. But that's enough shameless promo for now. Let's actually get into this tier list. So we're back on this wonderful tier list, except the categories that we have today are just a little bit different than they were in the last video. Again, if you haven't seen it already, then I definitely recommend you check that out because I think the list is a lot longer and it covers a lot of the major scandals that went down in 2023. These are really just ones that I forgot. That doesn't mean they're any less important or any less iconic or problematic. These are either some that just slipped my mind or I just did not know about going into it. But the categories we have today, starting at the very bottom, is the actual jail time tier. This tier is very similar to the tier in the last video, except this time we're not laughing. We're not itch bullying. Like, the people in this tier actually maybe deserve jail time for their actions. Like, the scandals that they're in, ooh, spooky, you know, criminally offensive, or honestly just so bad that they just need to serve time. Or they are serving time. The tier above that is only slightly better, but it still made its rounds around social media and was memed on and talked about enough where it wasn't as cut and dry. You need to probably address that because everyone knows about it and everyone's talking about it. A tier above that is the return of the apology video with tears, except this time it's an apology video with fake tears. Because I feel like scandals in this tier constitute apologies that the people actually don't mean. Like, yeah, the scandal was bad. Yes, these people were in the wrong, but I don't think they genuinely care. And that tier is bested by the tier above that called problematique. Shout out to Carpenter. And this tier of scandals are honestly just problematic, but in a kind of cunty slay way. They weren't anything egregious. No one actually got hurt, I don't think. They were just top of the line scandals. And the scandals in the problematique tier are great and all. But we alluded to this in the last video. There's only one tier of scandal that is better than the scandals that are problematique, and these are the scandals that made it into the pop Bible. Like, these are scandals that are just so iconic and just transcend the level of a regular scandal where they need to be solidified in the books. Like, this needs to be like when a pop star, when an actor wants to create a scandal, wants something to drive up buzz, they would open said pop Bible and reiterate, recreate, reimagine the scandals of 2023, of pop past, which is why this tier is called Pop Bible. Would probably do it again, because was it scandalous? Was it controversial? Maybe. Will the person likely do it again? Will it probably be repeated? Absolutely. But now that we have that out of the way, let's get into these scandals at hand. First things first, starting off, this is at the beginning of 2023, and honestly, I forgot that it happened, but when it happened, something shifted. The Ariana DeBose BAFTA performance. Miss Angela Bassett did the thing of it all. If you weren't here for that, if you were not tuned in during award season was just it was okay. It was kind of struggling because the writer's strike was looming. The actor's strike had not yet happened yet, but there were definitely chatters of said things happening. And Miss Ariana DeBose, well-known Broadway actress and just general talent, hosts the BAFTA Awards. And she opens with one of the most life-changing performances, highlighting women in Hollywood's achievement. Everything is going amazing. Up until she starts her spoken word / rap section, shouting out the faves that are nominated for BAFTAs. And honestly, this made pop culture history. But what really set it off was what she said during the end of her performance, where she shouted out the great Angela Bassett and Viola Davis for their roles in Black Panther and The Woman King. Almost tipped over the camera. She goes, Angela Bassett did the thing, Viola Davis, my Woman King.
Angela Bassett did the thing, Viola Davis, my Woman King.
Oh, and the fallout from this was as expected. Like, people were laughing. People were having a good hee ha ha because it was just so unserious. Like, the commitment to the bit was crazy. The lore just kept getting deeper and deeper because as the days went on, we got different angles. We got behind the scenes footage of her actually rehearsing and practicing over and over again in different settings. And the general unserious of it all really just drove up discourse on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, everywhere, truly. And people were having a generally good time. And you may be asking, Rumi, this just sounds like a regular internet moment. How's scandal? Hold on. Not even days after Ariana DeBose's performance, she deactivates her Twitter. Gag. And you may be asking, why? For me, at least, I saw that as an opportunity wasted. I feel like Ariana received a lot of attention from that, and not all of it was positive, of course, but it was just like a lot all at once, which caused this whole outcry in Hollywood during award season, where people in the performance were defending Ariana, one of them namely being Jamie Lee Curtis, very passionately defended Ariana, saying that she really liked the performance and that she did great, which genuinely got the internet to be like, okay, Ariana, we're sorry, we don't mean this in a very mean way, we just really love you, you're really iconic, your mother, you're fab, you're a dream, you're all this, and all was right with the world. She came back and she reclaimed the moment. And honestly, I'm just really sad that this became a scandal, in quotes. I just think that this could have been an amazing pop culture moment. And it was. It really was. It's just a shame that Ariana had that moment where she felt like the internet was against her. And honestly, I think starting off strong, I would put this in problematique. I feel that I wouldn't do this moment justice enough. I have to put it in Pop Bible because I want to see the girls give camp. I want a performance that just has us all in guffaw. That was not the right way to use that word, but we're gonna pretend like it was, okay? So yeah, Pop Bible. Moving into the next scandal of 2023, the Barbie movie debate. And not specifically the Barbie movie proper debate, but more so the fallout and reaction to the Barbie movie coming out. The Barbie movie came out last summer to critical acclaim. It was I saw it and I really liked the movie. But there were some valid criticisms of the movie, in that for a movie that was supposed to be focused on Barbie and the whole story of being a woman in society and just the general female experience, a lot of the movie was taken up by Ken, and Ken's storyline kind of intruded heavily on the Barbie movie, which caused a massive discourse and even questions over whether a Ken movie is in order to be produced, which in my opinion kind of defeats the purpose of the Barbie movie, because it's about Barbie. And honestly, I feel like the movie did enough. With Ken, I don't need a whole movie about him because I can see what the criticisms are saying and that a lot of the movie did have to do with Ken anyway. Like, yeah, this wasn't so much of a scandal between like castmates and stuff, more so a scandal that ended up happening on the internet and people having discourse about it and people having these different opinions. I don't want a Ken movie. I'm gonna just put that out there. I don't want a Ken movie. And while I really like the Barbie movie, I can definitely see how there was a lot of Ken. I don't know. I'm gonna put it in problematique. Like it was problematic, but I don't feel like it was the actual point of the movie or anything like super serious. We talked about memoirs in the last video with Jada Pinkett Smith. This time around, we're talking about a different memoir. Britney Spears came out with a memoir in 2023, basically highlighting her experience as well as insight into her conservatorship, and Jada Pinkett Smith's memoir. This memoir was also taken and ran throughout the news, not in the same way as Jada's. I don't feel like there were constant excerpts just being put out of place and not really linked to the memoir. There was some of that, but parts that really did stand out were sections where she was talking about her relationship with Justin Timberlake. And honestly, after what Justin Timberlake did to Janet Jackson's career, I was already looking at him sideways. But after hearing this stuff about what went down in this memoir, it's not looking any better. Some standouts for me were how Justin Timberlake would like code switch and put on a black scent whenever he'd be around. Who was it? Was it Busta Rhymes? Was it? Who was it? Let me look this up. Genuine? He had a black scent around Genuine? That's crazy. And she also revealed a lot of other things around Justin Timberlake, and clearly Justin Timberlake did not appreciate her airing out his business like that because it did not make him look good, which is honestly not the fault of Britney because she was just recounting what happened. And if he's embarrassed or ashamed or feels attacked by her recounting of his actions, maybe that's a reflection and not Britney retelling how that impacted her, his actions. I think you get the point. And while, as far as I know, Justin Timberlake didn't actually physically respond to anything that was said in the book, he did disable his Instagram comments after the book came out. So that's something. Honestly, for this scandal, I want an apology video from Justin Timberlake with tears. I know they're gonna be fake tears, but I need them with real tears for Janet Jackson and for Britney and for Genuine. Okay, the next scandal we need to handle with a little bit of care because this next one is the oceangate scandal. And not necessarily the oceangate scandal itself, but more so the fallout and the reaction of the oceangate scandal. To quote the queen, Nicki Minaj, "One sub, kill 5 bitches, oceangate." That was a sick line. Onika, why'd you say that? But yeah, if you weren't aware of the oceangate scandal, basically these millionaires went into a submarine that was controlled by a GameCube controller and wanted to go into the depths of the ocean. And a couple days later, it came out that this sub had imploded. It's very sad because it's a loss of life. But then the scandal of it all that we're talking about for this set of Hollywood scandals was the immediate media reaction to it. Like the second that it got released that the sub imploded, not even hours after, it was announced that there was going to be a documentary recapping and retelling the story of oceangate. Like time and place. Like truly, like how the news just breaks saying that these people lost their lives. And here comes BBC being like, the tragedy of oceangate, coming to theaters near you 2024. Like, where's the, like, damn. The way these people were being memed on and this whole situation was being memed on was giving very much reminiscence of the way that the Queen was treated in 2022 when details around the Queen happened. There was no reason why they needed to announce the documentary and the sensationalization of this incident happening. So for that, I'd say that it's genuinely awful, but made its rounds. Will I be tuned into the oceangate documentary? I don't know. Will you? Don't answer that, because I don't want to know your answer if it's yes. Moving on, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. And this one also is kind of sensitive, but also very unserious in the sense of, why would you do that? Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis made an apology video because they went and defended an abuser who happened to be their co-star on the 70s show. And basically came out initially defending their co-star, being like, they allegedly initially came out with statements defending Masterson, but then after the rightful discourse and disapproval from the public, they came out with this very poor apology video with them leaned up against a wall to make them look very grounded. Although there have been pictures or videos, I'm not sure, of this wall. And it's like this really bougie backdrop that they really just zoomed in on to just make it less in your face. It was just this whole thing. And honestly, I don't know whether to put it in genuinely awful but made its rounds because it was that for defending an abuser, or if I should just put it in an apology video with fake tears because that's what this was. I'll drop it in the fake tears apology video because I did the same thing with Drew Barrymore in last video. Yeah, it's the bottom of the apology video with fake tears. I was not a fan of this. Next scandal, Keke Palmer and her baby daddy. This was something that I was very saddened to see in 2023. No one deserves to be like this. Let me explain this and break this down to y'all for those of you that missed it. Basically, earlier in 2023, Keke went to an Usher concert and was dressed like she was going to an Usher concert. And her baby daddy came out and was like, oh, you're a mother, don't dress like that, blah, 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 basically being kind of manipulative and controlling. The internet got past that, and then it came out a little bit later in 2023 that her baby daddy was actually abusive towards her, verbally and physically. And Keke's been very vocal about how this has impacted her and how she's not used to having her private life be put out in the public like that, and how she's really going through it. Like, especially because there's a child involved, and my heart goes out to Keke. So for this, I'm gonna put it in jail time because you can't be abusive to our girl and get away with it. I'm gonna just say that. Oh my God. When we talk about unseriousness in 2023, Jonathan Majors, if you weren't aware, Jonathan Majors, huge actor, was honestly one of the, if not the biggest black male actors to come out in recent years. He was set to play Kang in the Marvel's franchise. And while he was in court, he and his team went on this whole press run of trying to make him look like the good guy, while also making it look like he was some sort of like with the little hat and the old-timey clothes. And the picture that I have saved here was from a very, very, very unserious fake altercation where he just randomly goes and breaks up a fight between two girls. And the video is just so unserious because someone is holding a laptop open, like a book or like a pamphlet, recording this situation. Like, it just seems so fake. It's so uncanny valley. Like it honestly seems like it'd be an SNL skit, but it's real. And like, so much was done during the trial to make him seem like a good, innocent, gentle giant that could never do something like this. But the evidence and the trial ruled against it, and he was actually recently sentenced and will be serving time and has been dropped from his management, from Marvel. Like, this is a big fall from grace and for him in Hollywood. So for that, I have to actually put it in no like actual jail time because he's actually convicted. Spooky. Next up, something less serious, but equally unserious. The Hailey, Beiber, and Selena Gomez drama. I honestly was not following this very heavily. This was huge earlier in 2023. There have been allegations for a while. If you know Selena Gomez and you know who Hailey Bieber's husband is, you know that there's history that goes way back between the two of them. And when Hailey Bieber got into a relationship with Selena, there was apparently some drama between the two of them. And Hailey allegedly has been sending shots at, and there was this video that came out where it seemed like they were sending shots at Selena, and then Selena took offense, and then there was like a whole social media battle where you're either team Selena or you're team Hailey, because Hailey and her group were labeled as the mean girls. And again, I made a video on this, but the amount of investment in the personal lives of millionaires, if not billionaires, is crazy. So this is really unserious. I think they came out with, I'm not sure when this picture was taken, before or after the beef, but essentially the beef is squashed now, I believe, or at least they just don't talk about it anymore. I'm gonna say this was problematique. Actually, no, I'm gonna put this in Pop Bible, simply because I do think this is gonna happen again. I was about to put it in problematique, but it's Pop Bible because it was a very iconic moment of 2023, and I thoroughly do think that we're going to be revisiting this feud at some point in the future, for some reason. Next up, one of the biggest controversies in, I wanna say, influencer Hollywood this year. Basically, Colleen Ballinger had grooming allegations, had emotionally abusive allegations to her fans, had very friend allegations towards her and Trisha Paytas, and basically came out with this ukulele video being like, toxic gossip train.
All aboard the toxic gossip train.
Y'all are crazy for thinking I did something wrong. Y'all are just misinterpreting it, hopping on a bandwagon, the toxic gossip train. When you have serious allegations like that against, you don't flick on the camera and turn on ukulele. And this has been discussed enough. We've talked about this enough. But you're going to prison. You're not even an apology video with fake tears. And it was genuinely awful and made its rounds. But girl, oh my God. Next, the Lizzo scandal and lawsuit, which I honestly kind of forgot happened because it kind of just went away, like kind of just swept under the rug. Basically, earlier this year, a bunch of Lizzo's backup dancers and people that have worked with Lizzo in the past have come forward and alleged that Lizzo has created a hostile work environment and has been, as well as an inappropriate work environment with her and her background dancers and her. This is a huge scandal this summer. People were popping out the woodworks to, like, of course there were the main backup dancers as well as some people that had allegedly previously worked with her to different capacities, talking about how she mean or made the work environment uncomfortable or hostile. And then it kind of just tapered off. And I feel like a lot of it tapered off because of the way that the allegations were being presented. Like the 2 alleged victims had went on to TMZ to do an interview where it was essentially invalidated because it was on TMZ, and the way that they were answering the questions were not in a very, essentially did not help their case. Like they should not have taken that interview because that interview did not do them well. And yeah, I don't know what the current state of that case is, and I still don't really know what's going on with the case. So yeah, I'd have to say that it was a genuinely awful scandal, but it made its rounds on the internet. Confused on what's happening now. Next up is something that y'all have been asking me to talk about for a while, and that is Matt Rife. The Matt Rife controversy. Matt Rife is a comedian that got really popular on social media, got a Netflix special, and got canceled for said Netflix special because of some insensitive jokes that he made on that special revolving around DV or domestic V, as well as just general misogyny in his jokes. This is another thing that has popped up fairly recently, within the last couple of months, and has been extensively talked about. He also got into another scandal because he told a 6-year-old boy that his mom buys some Christmas presents based on her profits on OF. It's not looking good for him at all. I don't think, like, his rise and fall has been very interesting to watch. And while I wouldn't put it in actual jail time, I will say that it's genuinely awful and it's making its rounds. Maybe he does deserve jail time because this scandal is just mean-spirited and I don't know. What do you think? Where would you put his scandal? Next up, another very serious and recent scandal, the Diddy and Cassie scandal. Now, this scandal has layers. I'm not sure if you're aware. Cassie, I think it was a month ago or a month and a half ago, Cassie came out with this lawsuit that had a trigger warning on it detailing exactly what P. Diddy has done to her over her life. And within 24 hours of her filing that lawsuit was settled by Diddy's committee, I think for $3 million. That might be the wrong number. But regardless, it was a large sum of money that he settled just like that, because put the internet into a tizzy, because that essentially validated everything that Cassie said. Because if he was confident that he can win that case, or if he was completely innocent, then he would have just taken it to trial and won it if he was correct. But the fact that he settled it in less than 24 hours meant that he did not want all the information of that trial being aired out, meaning that it went down. And honestly, Cassie ate, because ever since then, Diddy has been getting whacked left and right, because the things that are alleged in that lawsuit are actually horrible and very terrifying, actually. If you want to look it up yourself, I would advise you to proceed with caution. But yeah, like the rest of the abusers in this list, jail. Now to lighten things up a bit, let's talk about Sabrina Carpenter. I feel like Sabrina Carpenter's scandal this year was iconic. I'm just gonna say that. Sabrina Carpenter released a video for one of her songs called Feather this year, and a large portion of the video was filmed in a church. Now the video itself wasn't anything daring, it wasn't anything crazy. In fact, I'd say that it was very reminiscent of like a old-timey pop music video, like the pop girlies used to do it. Except after the music video came out, the church or cathedral that she was filming at actually came out and said that they are suing, and they were not very happy with how their church was represented. And as many people on Twitter have stated, getting sued because you make a cunty music video just signifies that pop music is back, and Sabrina, Miss Carpenter, is really just pushing that pop agenda, and I really love that. Something that really stuck with me is when she was asked about it and asked about the scandal, she said, Jesus was a carpenter. That right there, if she had not come up with a quip that good, that classy, with that much couth, snark, and retort, but she did all of that. And you wanna know what? I bet she'd do it again. So directly to Pop Bible she goes. Thank you, Sabrina Carpenter. And last but not least, we've talked about her so much this year. Doja Cat has been in scandal all year, basically because of the rollout of her album Scarlet. We've hashed this multiple times in different videos. I'm not gonna go through it again. If you want to hear more about what Doja's been up to and how that all has impacted her rollout and the general scene, I have 2 videos that you can go check out. Go click on those. And basically the last major scandal that she was in, that she ended up addressing on an Apple Music podcast, was her wearing a t-shirt with a neon on it, which, like, yeah, good at all. That was not a good thing. That was not, cannot co-sign that. And she addressed it, and like I said, she addressed it in her Apple Music interview. She explained that she didn't know the full intent and the full impact behind who she was wearing on her shirt. What she knew of the creator was funny, but she didn't know all that came with him. I don't know about all that. I don't know how much of that is just not. I mean, I have historically loved Doja Cat's music, and she was actually my #1 artist on Spotify Rap this year. But a lot of the actions that were taken this year, including this one, made it very hard to do so. And this last thing was honestly just genuinely awful and made its rounds. So I'm gonna put it there. But that's our list, y'all. This is a very non-evenly distributed list, if I do say so myself. We have a couple in Pop Bible, we have a lot of people in jail, and a lot of people that made some very awful decisions or moves or scandals this year. But yeah, this is it. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think about these scandals? And what are you looking forward to in 2024? Like, what are your predictions for what's going to go down this year? I honestly, after 2023, anything is truly possible. So my expectations are low. I'm here for anything. But yeah, let me know all of your thoughts down in the comment section below. Thanks again so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, then definitely subscribe, leave a like, follow me on my socials on Imurgency, at Imurgency on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Also, don't forget to click the link in my description or to click the join button to hear more about channel memberships or to become a member to get early access videos, exclusive content, and live streams. But other than that, y'all, I have Imurgency, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.